Hi, Dr. Carlos Todd here. I'm back with another video on how to fight less, love more. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about mastering anger. What are some of the things that you can do to master anger? And today's topic is, what do you do in the first 60 seconds when you feel angry? So this is an important topic because there's a point in the expression of anger that it can go really bad, or it can go to a cool down phase where you get your head clear and be able to respond a little bit differently. So I've worked with many people over the last 20 years on the issue of anger. And one of the things that I've found is that little 60 seconds, right? 60 seconds is a long time, but important period of time. If you do the right things, you save yourself from divorce, jail, losing your job, getting yourself in a situation where the consequences are tremendous, losing custody of your kids, just being in a place where you don't have any friends, you don't have people who are quote unquote responsive to you because they're trying to stay away from you. You're not having the best quality job because you're having really problems relating with others. So there are real impacts here, real consequences from not being able to respond in an effective way when it comes to feeling anger. So what we know is that there's like a spike that happens in the beginning of that anger episode, and if you can make a shift in that short period of time, you're going to be better off, right? The goal here is not to fix the issue in that moment. I want you to consider something, right? What is the difference between you've said that bad thing to your partner or to your boss or to a co-worker or to the guy in the other vehicle that you cut off or they cut you off? What is the difference between that moment and an hour later or 2 hours later when you start reflecting on what happened and why did I respond that way, right? I should have done this, I should have done that, I should have done that. The difference is really body chemistry, and I think it's really important to understand that the body keeps score. And if we can learn ways to kind of understand how the body impacts our responses, we can step outside of ourselves for a moment and decide, you know what, I am not going to say anything in this situation, I'm going to pull back. So it becomes important, I think, to pause your response and do a body check. So I tell people, look, understand that you're in that moment and you're feeling that feeling. Do a check of your body, right? Get very familiar with how your body responds from the top of your head to the tip of your toe. What are those stress responses that you have? Does your palm sweat? Does your heart start to race? Do you have tension in your back or your neck, right? I get this kind of tension in my neck. Those things tell you that you're not in a good place. You're not perceiving things clearly. And if you're not perceiving things clearly, it's time to stop. No response that you will give, no action you will take in this moment will be serving the better good of that interaction. So stop. That is the goal. Some people have really good skills on how to physically regulate, and I'll talk about that in another video. But I want you first to kind of get to a point where you are actually able to visualize yourself, your body, parts of your body, and how you physically are responding in periods where there's conflict or where there's anger. Get familiar with that part of you, and if that part of you, you're feeling some physical sign, it's time to stop. That's kind of the biggest thing that I want you to kind of get in this moment. You want to pause. You don't want to react immediately. You don't want to say the first thing that comes to your head, because remember, you now have adrenaline and cortisol and some other stress hormone pumping through your system that's affecting the way how you perceive things. And so you don't want to say the thing that you're wanting to say, because if you say that thing, it has long-term effects. So you want to be able to pull back. That's your first responsibility, is to de-escalate. Not because you're right or not because you're wrong, but because what you're thinking is heavily influenced by the change in your body chemistry. So that's the thing that I want you to keep in mind. And so being able to pull back and physically regulate, right, to deep breathe, to kind of get to a place where you are able to come down and respond to the physical indicators in a way that you can bring your situation to a better outcome. And you want to calm yourself down and then come back to the situation. Actually, in relationship science, we talk about the fact that with some of these chemicals, they peak at 20 minutes and then they come down, right? For some people, it could be longer, that peak time. For some people, it may be shorter. But 20 minutes is a long time for those chemicals to stay in your body and keep you amped up. And so in that period of time, you want to be able to pull away. So forget the 20 minutes for now, but in those first 60 seconds, you want to make sure that you respond in a way that is allowing you to pull back, pause a little bit. So that's the consideration. What you do in those 60 seconds is do a body check, pull back, calm down, and come back to the situation. So what we've talked about today is how do you respond in a way that allows you to protect the relationship, whatever the relationship is, calm yourself, and live for another day with the relationship intact. And that's true for both relationships. So that's the end of another video. Thank you for taking some time to watch this one, and I will see you in the next one. And remember to fight less, love more.